Hey, everybody. Welcome back to that last part that I promise is the last part of this series at the Muletown Pipe Show 2022. This was a blast. I'm sad that, this is the last one, but you know what? I wanted to bring all of you the best quality I could and the best results that Derek and I could come up with. Derek, thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you. He helped me troubleshoot and do so many things that was able to make this whole production possible. So kudos to him. He's the best. I like I said, I couldn't have done it without him. All right. Right now, we've got Jeremy coming up from Cornell and Deal, where I do an interview with him specifically just to discuss everything from what he likes to smoke and even blends that he thinks people should try that they haven't yet. So this is a really cool one. Check it out. I'll see you on the other side. Hey, everybody. We're at Muletown Pipe Show 2022 here at Briar, and we've got a great person that we wanted to talk to, Jeremy. Can you introduce yourself and what you do?
I'm Jeremy Reeves. I'm the head blender of Cornell and Deal.
Oh, you're good. It's hot.
We're a pipe tobacco manufacturer based in Long, South Carolina.
Awesome. So how did you get into, for instance, blending and getting to where you're at?
Through a series of weird decisions. So I grew up in a small town in New Mexico, and when I turned 19, I was like, I need to know a lot more about the world than what I can learn in my small town.
Absolutely.
So I went to Chicago, and I was in Chicago for a while, and discovered that I really enjoyed cigars. I really enjoyed, just sitting and chilling with some friends and having a cigar. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to get a job in a cigar store.
That's right.
Make a paycheck on this instead of just spending my paycheck on this. And what kind of caught me by surprise working in the cigar shop was that as much as I enjoyed cigars, and that never stopped, as much as I enjoyed tobacco and learned about pipes and all these things, but what really, really drew me in was the weird cross-section of people who never would have interacted if they just saw each other in the grocery store or if they were seated at different tables in a restaurant or something.
That's right.
But in a cigar lounge, it didn't matter what their background was, what part of the city they lived in, where they were coming from in life or what they believed or anything. All that went out the window. It was like, hey, what are you smoking?
Oh, yeah.
It was a great unifier, and it was a great equalizer in the most beautiful sort of way. And just the types of folks and the oddballs that found a home.
That's
and
right.
I was like, oh, that's me. So that really drew me into tobacco more as a culture and as what it could do with people and for people instead of just being a neat consumable that tasted good.
Absolutely.
That's how I got into it.
Absolutely. Oh, lost and found pipes? Oh, well. I'm not too concerned. So where do you get your inspiration for a lot of the blends that you're making? I mean, we're seeing small batches. There's so many cool varieties and fun, new things. Like, people all the time always ask, what's your favorite? And I'm like, I don't know, because there's something new coming out, and I'm going to try it, and my palate's going to change. I'm going to forget about the old one for a while, and I'm going to be hooked on the new one. So we're like, with the limited amount of components that you have to work with, where do you get inspiration to make some of the blends you do?
A lot of the components themselves are the inspiration. So much of my job is just tracking down the leaf that we need to continue to produce the blends that we regularly produce. And along the way, I come across things that may not be a good fit for our regular Red Virginia component that goes into everything from Red Virginia ribbon in bulk to, most of the blends that we produce that call for Red Virginia, whether it's in leaf or in ribbon form. But I end up sampling and trying a lot of different kinds of Virginias, trying to find that may not work for that, but they're beautiful in their own way and deserve consideration in their own right. That's where Carolina Red Flake came from, was just doing a tasting panel, sourcing Red Virginia for us to continue to use in regular blending. I was like, well, this is delicious. It's not the flavor that I need to be the whole backbone of our Red Virginia component for Cornell and Deal's production, but this is too good not to do something special with, and Carolina Red Flake was what that ended up being. So a lot of times times it really is the tobacco itself that is the inspiration. Other times it's food flavors. I have done a lot of work in restaurants. I'm a pretty adventurous eater, and I love trying new things. If I can't pronounce it on the menu, that's like, okay, I gotta order this. You know what I mean? Like I love trying new things, and so I'm always trying to push an envelope in one way or another of like what is regarded as being traditional may not necessarily be the full breadth of what could also be good.
Right.
And so yeah, food serves as an inspiration. My own peculiarities of the things that I really enjoy in flavors. Just my own sense of taste aesthetic, if that's a thing.
Right.
But more than anything else, the tobacco itself serves as my inspiration.
Well, and the pipe and tobacco industry has been going through a lot of changes, whether it's, sourcing out, different types of tobaccos from, different growers to deeming regulations and everything else. How has that changed some of the way you've done things, and how have you adapted, and what are you looking towards in terms of the future of production?
Well, we have pathways to be able to do things that are new and interesting, present things in a new and interesting way.
Because that's the biggest concern with the pipe community a lot of times is this going to disappear on me? And because again, we're not being blenders, not being pipe makers, really just being people that participate in the hobby. We're really on the outside of that, and so to us, sometimes we're looking for a little reassurance that we're going to be able to get those blends.
So I'll say this: there has been this like, oh no, it's all going away fear for as long as I've been involved in this hobby.
Fact. Yes.
And so far, that has not come to fruition. That's not been the result of regulation. Does it pose challenges to us as manufacturers? Absolutely. But without going too far into the nitty-gritty of how everything works, I can tell you that everything that we're doing is in full compliance.
That's right. So you're navigating those waters,
yes.
and it's navigable. It's not
yes.
something where we have any immediate concern, because it's not like this is the first rodeo in terms of regulations and everything else. So
within the regulations, they provided pathways to be able to bring things to market.
That's right.
And there are a number of different pathways, and we're utilizing those pathways. We're utilizing legal representation, and we have a whole wing of our company now that is specifically regulatory.
That's right.
Focused, and so
y'all are working on it.
It's just a part of our regular day to day, and it has not put a stop to anything.
Don't freak out. Everything's good. Now, I've got a question. When it comes to the type of blend that you prefer to smoke most often, are you more of an English? Are you more of a Virginia Forward, Vapor, Burley? Like, what is your usual go-to in terms of what you like in blends?
I really like Virginia and Virginia Perique blends. I really like Virginia and Virginia Oriental blends. I love smoking straight Oriental.
Yeah.
I really enjoy smoking a lot of the components that we work with just straight. And it's good because that's an awful lot of my job is trying components side by side to find the things that can fill whatever gap or hole I'm looking for in terms of what we need for production or what we need for a particular type of product. So I mean, really, my job is to smoke everything, but left to my own devices, if I'm just sitting at home enjoying a bowl of something, it's probably Virginia or Virginia Perique.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to like the type of pipe you prefer, do you have a certain style that you go to? Do you like the clenchers? Do you like the straights? Are you a billiard guy? Are you a sitter?
I'm a billiard guy. I'm an apple guy. I really love classic shapes.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of appreciation for the skill and for the symmetry or asymmetry balance that is required to make a volcano or a blowfish, but I just love the simple beauty of a a classic billiard, classic apple, bent billiard, bent apple. Those are really the pipes that make up the majority of my smoking instruments.
Now, give us 3 specific Cornell and Deal blends that are kind of sleeper blends that everybody should try.
Oh man, there's a lot of those.
I'm assuming so. So you don't have to worry. You got, and because that's the thing. Sometimes it's a very daunting array. I mean, you guys just have such a variety. But, sometimes it's hard to hone in on. Like for instance, if I'm a burley guy, give me a specific one you think I should try right off the bat. If I want more burley forward, heavy burley.
A heavier burley?
Yeah.
I think Pegasus is a great one.
Okay.
Maybe not it's not a heavy burley, but a burley that is not as heavy as like regular brown label Old Joe Krantz.
Yep.
I really recommend to people Old Joe Krantz Blue Label.
Okay.
The components are focused a little more towards the middle of the road rather than like the
That's right.
velvet hammer.
That's right.
That,
for sure.
That Old Joe Krantz can be, or maybe not so velvet hammer. So yeah, I really love Old Joe Krantz Blue Label.
What about an Oriental forward?
Sure. With Latakia, I would suggest Red Stag is a great Oriental blend.
Okay.
Without Latakia, John Marr.
Okay.
John Marr is a great blend. Virginia Oriental Greek.
That's right.
Or Innsmouth is another.
Okay. Yeah. Now, if we were going to hone in on your Virginias, give us a couple of the ones that stick out to you the most. That one that's a sleeper that most people haven't maybe have tried, and one that obviously you think is well deserving of its weight and the purchase price.
Sure. So I really love Carolina Red Flake.
Yeah.
Always have, and that's obviously one that a lot of other people have resonated with that blend, or that blend has resonated with them. But I also think Derringer is a vastly underappreciated blend. For just being a straight Virginia.
That's right.
That it's available in bulk. It's available in 2-ounce tins. It's got a really nice, chunky, thick cut to it. Wonderful character. We use both stoved bright and red and unstoved bright and red. It's pressed and allowed to ferment for a short period of time before it's cut. I think it's lovely stuff.
Now, and your tins are, obviously a food grade sealed style tin. What makes you go with that versus a vacuum seal?
Actually, equipment is a part of that, and also the air left in the tin really aids in fermentation.
Yes.
So oxidation up front, and then over time the microbial activity that causes fermentation uses up that oxygen, and you'll see your tin expand a little bit.
Get the bulge.
Yep, and that's from the production of gases.
That's right.
That are a byproduct of the fermentation of the tobacco.
Basically, when the bread rises, it's ready to go.
That's right.
Is what we're looking at.
That's right.
So excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Everybody, make sure you check out Cornell and Deal. You got some blend recommendations. Get to it. We'll see y'all later.
Thanks, guys.
Jeremy's a really, really awesome person to get to know. I mean, there's just so much more depth to him. I appreciated getting to know him. I enjoyed the fact that he even, how he even got into this industry and how much he enjoyed cigars. And, one of my favorite blends, which, is Country Lawyer under the Briarworks label that, he makes. I mean, that's a labor of love for him. And it was just really cool to hear his points of view and the blends that he recommended. So make sure you check those out. Give them a look, give them a try, go for it. I mean, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Now we get to Pete Prevost, the man himself, the one that hosted it. Thank you to all of his staff who was great and helpful. Everybody was a blast to deal with at the Briarworks. Everybody was extremely accommodating, very helpful, friendly, you name it. Very diverse. It was just a really, really cool group there. So thank you so much again to the Briarworks, Pete Prevost, and everybody that made this happen. I'm very excited for next year. Wish it was already here, but you know what? Check out this conversation that I had with Pete. He's a rock star. All right, everybody, we're at the Muletown Pipe Show 2022. So glad it finally happened because we missed 2019, so I'm super excited for the 2022. We had a little delay there in between because of things going on in the world, but we are here with the owner. Tell us about yourself a little bit and let us know how you got started into this.
Yeah, my name's Pete Prevost. I'm one of the owners at Briar Works. And then, obviously we're the hosts of the Muletown Pipe Show. I got into pipes. I started making pipes about 14 years ago or so. I was already a pipe smoker. Didn't have much of a collection, but I was in the music, and when I was on tour, I would hunt around and look for pipes and shops. And one of my bandmates and me, we decided to go ahead and try our hand at making our own pipe. And then I just got hooked from that point on, and got connected with Jody Davis, who's another carver, and he started teaching me. Introduced me to another carver named Todd Johnson, and I ended up working with Todd, learning handmade work and stuff. And then in 2013, I stopped touring, and Todd and I started the Pipe Factory up in Nashville. And then it's just, it started as like the idea of, making a U.S.-made factory pipe made by artisan carvers. But it really just has turned into just something totally beyond that. In 2018, I moved us down here to Columbia.
That's right.
And got us in this building. And for not only just so we could have a retail store and have our own bar and everything, but also to be able to host something like this.
Absolutely.
That was actually part of the vision of it, was being able to host our own pipe show inside the Briarworks factory.
So what made you choose Columbia as your new home?
Yeah, I was at the time I was living in Spring Hill, which is about 20 minutes from here, and just kind of saw the growth of Columbia. I saw that this area, it had a really just cool, picturesque, just sort of downtown, looked really neat. But there was just something about it. There was a vibe down here, very friendly, but you could just feel something exciting kind of happening in this area.
That's right.
And so, that was a big part of it. It was just, that obviously Nashville had gotten more expensive, cost. So we wanted to get outside of Nashville, but find something that was a really, a really great place for a destination spot.
Sure.
That people could travel in and hang out in our factory, but also enjoy a cool little downtown area.
That's right.
That's it.
Now you're also doing blends too, which you have and I'm not saying this to blow smoke, no pun intended, everybody, but my all day is always Country Lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
I love cigars. It's got that nice hint of cigar in there that's not overpowering. It lets all the other blends shine through. What made you get into some of the blending as well? Was it just you picking out some of the things you liked and wanted to create your own? And then how did it progress into some of those bacon old fashioned?
Right. So really, to be quite honest, I'm not really a tobacco blender. Jeremy Reeves from Cornell and Deal is the blender that did all of our blends. We had concepts and we had ideas of things that we would like to do. Like Country Lawyer, for example. I asked Jeremy about doing a cigar leaf forward blend.
That's right.
And then what he sent me initially actually had Latakia in it. And it was great. But the Latakia overpowered the cigar leaf. So it was definitely good, had a great flavor, but it felt like it was just overpowering the cigar leaf too much. And so we ended up actually doing a version without it, which makes it a little bit more unique because typically you see it with Latakia, and it turned out great. And so I can't take any credit for the blends. That's all Jeremy. But, we had a hand in, sort of, I guess, dialing them in with our feedback and ideas,
Well, you're looking for a specific, blend for your product, for your brand and everything. And so it makes sense for you to have, significant hand in what you want it designed as.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your favorite pipe shape that you like to smoke, or what do you grab in terms of what type of pipe you grab? And I'm assuming it's one of yours. The other is, what's your all-day smoke?
Okay, well, for pipe shape, I'm really simple. I like a straightforward, just like straight pipe, classic shape. But I like a compact pipe. Like I've got like like a little short, like our little C53 Bulldog.
Yes.
Like that was a shape that like I was excited to make. As soon as I finished the first one out. Like I packed it up and smoked it, and I've been smoking that one ever since.
That's
so
right.
it's a go-to pipe for me. Also, as far as tobacco, my like anytime smoke would be Luxury Twist Flake.
Oh, nice.
I love Luxury Twist Flake. I like that it's kind of got like a nice little aromatic note, but it's a good Virginia flake. And then of course, like I really get into it's more one of those unicorn ones, but like I love Esoterica Peace Haven.
Okay.
Peace Haven is one of my favorite tobaccos. One of our guys, Micah, introduced me to that. There's one that I wasn't familiar with, and you don't see very often.
That's right.
But like it's one that I really love. Like it's definitely become like my favorite from them.
That's right. Yeah.
But I don't smoke it as often. It's harder to come by.
The infamous unicorn blends.
Yeah.
Which is it's fun to have a hobby where we have dynamics like that, where we have great tobaccos with blenders, and then we also have like some of the rare things and fun things that are good to hunt for. I mean, we have that with pipe tobacco, with bourbons, you name it, and so part of it's just the fun of the hunt and just going after it.
Yeah.
So are we going to see a 2023 Muletown?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It was awful having to not have it the past 2 years.
Right.
We're so excited to be back. And this will be the time of year that we're going to do it from here on out, hopefully. So yeah, we'll definitely be announcing the dates soon for next year's show.
Awesome. So what'd you think of Pete? Pretty cool guy, right? I love the fact that they had moved the facility, that they're in Muletown in Columbia, Tennessee. Just so cool. What an amazing story. What an opportunity to just really do what you love to do. I mean, that's crazy. It's awesome. I love every bit of it. I want to thank again Derek and everybody that participated in this series. I want to thank everybody that's had an opportunity to watch it. If you like to see more of this content, make sure you're sharing, subscribing, doing all those types of things. Make sure you're giving all the videos thumbs up. And we'll look at possibly doing more content like this later on, and in the future, possibly even doing some live streams during these events as well, as long as equipment and everything is permitting. So thank you again for riding this ride with me and hopping aboard this train, and so excited. Can't wait for next year. Can't wait to hear what all of you think about it. This is Martin from Over a Pipe. We'll see you later.